is going to be recorded, so just so you know, if you don't wish to be on the recording, it's made available. Just don't speak in. If you got any questions, you can message me afterwards. I'm just going to share my screen. It's going to be talking about firing angles and just how to sort of move around in a more tactical position. So let's have a look. I'll put this one on here. Let me know if you can see that one. So you can see that it's coming up here.
Yes.
Awesome. So I took a whole bunch of videos of how I play, and I got some feedback from some of the guys, and they asked, how do you particularly, Fuzzy, move around and from not strategically on a map position, but more of just as soon as you've spawned, how are you moving around to your next objective and stuff. And I just want to cover how I do it, and you may already be doing this, some of you may not be, but I'm just going to put it out there anyway, so if you might learn something. For my first few sessions, was always about knowing where the enemy was, and that really gives you the jump on the enemy, knowing where the enemy is, whether from a strategic point of view, so which sector they're in. And if you boil it down to a more micro level, it's the same. As soon as you spawn in as well, you'll have to know whereabouts, in which direction your enemy's in. So the first one is spotting the enemy, and I've always talked about this. You've got to know where your enemy is coming from. You've got to know where your enemy is before you can actually shoot them. So the first thing to do is to just scan for the enemy. All right. I'm just replying to some people who are trying to join in. So spotting the enemy, and how do we actually scan the setting, how the horizon, to know when and how to shoot? So I'm just going to cover that. Let's have a look here. Hey Swinny, welcome.
Hey mate.
Hey X, welcome.
G'day mate.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know, I'm recording this session, so if you don't want to be in it, you don't have to speak. So I've got a YouTube video of me playing, and just stop this from being just watching me get kills and stuff. I'm going to explain exactly sort of what I'm doing, how to understand scanning the horizon and knowing where to look. So I'm just loading this one up now. It's here, and the good thing about recordings is that you can just skip your deaths. So the first thing is just when you're about to spawn, you have to look at, just like the first few training sessions, it's all about looking which outposts, which Garys are hot, and currently nothing's really looking hot. There is a little bit of recon popping up, but there's nothing actually being lit. So that means as soon as you've selected your spawn, you know that nothing is going to be within 50 meters. So within 50 meters, which in the old patch you could run 10 seconds, and in 10 seconds you could run 42 meters. In the new patch you can run 50 meters. So you know that in 10 seconds someone running towards you, there's not going to be anyone in there. But that sort of just cuts out your whole horizon of scanning. You're not looking for anyone within 50 meters, you're looking for people further out than 50 meters. So all of a sudden it makes the life a lot simpler as soon as you spawn in. So I've got it on half speed here, but I'll just play it normal. As soon as you spawn in, you're looking in the direction that you're running in, and instantly you're looking at all those little gaps where an enemy could be. And normally, most players will be at the edges of cover, so edges of buildings and windows. They're going to be in bushes, things like that. So that's about 50 meters in front of me, those little hedges there, and that's where I'm looking as soon as I spawn in. The second piece of information I'm taking in is that I've got those blueberries showing up, which means that those blueberries are there because they're not dead, and that means that generally there's not going to be enemies in that direction, so I can instantly sort of rule out that area. you could say, oh, this area on the left, there's no blueberries there, so I will be scanning that area. So you run a little bit, have a scan. Now, in the direction I'm running, there's obviously a gap in the hedges. I'm looking to my right, you can see there's no blueberries there. And we know the enemy's on that point as well, on the, whatever it's called, AA battery or whatever. So, turn the corner, and I know people say you shouldn't be running all the time, and that's cool. You shouldn't be running all the time, but we all do that. So, you've got to be scanning the horizon. You're scanning all this whole hill here. And as soon as you turn the corner, you're also scanning the stuff on the right. Now, you can say, oh, I didn't scan the right very quickly, but again, there's blueberries on the right-hand side. I know that they're there, and generally if they're there, that they've got a particular angle covered. So for example, I've got this little diagram here. This is you, the green guy. You might have a blueberry here. If he's alive, he's generally looking in a particular direction, generally towards the point. You can kind of be safe and assured that you can run across his sort of firing angle, not to get in his way of shooting, but you know that he's kind of covering that area, which means that you're sort of free to run without being scared of being shot at. So, let's take a quick look at that map. It was a real quick peek. But it's just enough to see that, okay, there's one blueberry near me, and you can see that he's looking towards the point, which is normal, and he's got that particular angle covered. I'm coming in on a slightly different angle, so I should be covering, in a way, the angle that he's not watching. So I'm instantly supporting him, and he should be supporting me. So we're covering more angles, we're covering more area, and you can sort of try to rely on your friendlies. So let's have a look. Again, I'm scanning where are the blueberries. I'm always looking at the direction where there's no blueberries, because that's where the enemy's going to be. Are there any questions currently? No?
No, you're good, matey.
Cool. So again, no blueberries. This is generally where the enemy's going to be. A bit of map knowledge helps here. You know they're going to be on the point. Often they're in the little complex behind these bushes. Sometimes they're in the sandbags to my right here, but I know that my friendly's on my right. He's covering that angle, so I'm safe to move up. Again, on my left, there's blueberries there. I'm kind of safe to move up as well. So I'm going to head for this bush, be a bush Wookie. One thing I just want to say is get comfortable with moving in a particular direction while looking in any direction. So imagine there's a tightrope, walk along that tightrope and be able to do a 360, do a scan in 360 and be able to move in one particular direction along a particular tightrope. That's, if you try to be comfortable doing that, it allows you to know where you're moving and know where you're looking at. You always want to know exactly where you're moving to. So even though I'm not looking at the bush, I know I'm moving towards that bush. Even though you're not looking at the bush. Okay, again, I saw the blueberry on my right. He's covering that. Now in my vision, I've got no blueberries. Obviously, the enemy's going to be there. So I'm scanning for obvious spots. Okay, there's the building behind the tree, which is actually obscured. It's really hard to see that. So that's dangerous. There's guys in the far field. I'm not too worried about that because, again, there's blueberries on the far left. I'm more worried about this whole bushline area. So I'm scanning those bushline areas, and also I'm having a look at the dangerous building. So nothing there, I couldn't see anything. I'm going to just move up a bit more. Again, taking another look, I'm looking at these trees here. I'm keeping my cursor sort of in the middle so that I could react to buildings, these bushes, and this bushline here. Again, I'm scanning that position. It's a quick snap. We want to quickly snap, quickly snap, quickly snap. Quickly snap. So I'm snapping from this bushline here to this edge here. I'm not worrying about all this middle bush here because enemies aren't going to pop out there. And sometimes they can if there's an OP there, but generally I don't scan for those places. So I just heard a gunshot. Is that enemy on my right? Is that friendly dead? I can't tell, I didn't look. But there was a gunshot. And I'm in some engagement here. So with this engagement here, we all missed. And when I'm shooting there, I don't know if you could tell, but there's a lot of micro adjustments from left to right, left to right. So as you're shooting, you are moving from left to right, left to right. Now, in the latest patch with the Brits, it's completely broken, but with the other factions, it still works. So what? I don't know if you want to have a look at this. I'll slow it down, put it to
You mean left to right, as in you're leaning?
No, I'm not leaning. It's just A and D. So you have to each shot I'm adjusting my position based on the last shot, so that I have a better chance of hitting that person. So for example here, okay, he's to my right. Okay, so I'm not going to move my mouse. I'm going to press D. So how I aim and shoot is I don't use the mouse per se. I use the A and D to aim. So he's to the right of my crosshair. I'm going to press D. Okay, I press D a bit, and I don't look at the guy. I just sort of think, okay, I've moved enough to the right, and I'm going to shoot. Okay, I missed. He's about on my crosshair. He's to the left a bit, so I'm going to move a little bit to the left. There's a little micro adjustment there to the left. And then the thing is, when you're getting shot at, your vision goes all crazy, and you end up, after like the first couple of shots traded, you just unload your whole clip. Just so that you know, the suppression effect doesn't change where you aim. Your aim stays the same, it's just your vision changes. So even though your vision's gone crazy, your ADS where you're aiming is actually still the same. So you don't have to actually compensate, which is annoying. But that's the good thing about the suppression. So I took the ADS off there. Now, it's always good to reposition your aim if you're under a lot of fire, because you sort of get a better view of your surroundings. You can see the enemy a lot better. So take off the ADS. You can also move left and right a lot quicker with that ADS, so that also helps you dodge more. So take a few shots. If you're still missing, reset. Take off the ADS, dodge more, AD, and then try to shoot him again. So you can see the reason, I'll just play it through to its completion. The reason I die there is because I'm predictable. I was obviously running towards a particular cover, and he knows that I'm running towards that particular cover because I'm closing the angle. So here, the only way I can get into cover is by moving to my left. Moving out into the open is perhaps less predictable. So if I wanted to live, I'd actually stay out there, move to the right, back to the left, but I wouldn't move back into cover. And it's just sort of natural for us to sort of run into cover and see it was too long running in one particular direction. And that's why you're dead. So the point is a particular firing angle will allow you to predict the enemy's movements, and also you need to be unpredictable in order to win your sort of 1v1s. So just looking at that, you die because you're too predictable. You're always trying to run to cover. It's just so predictable. I'm just going to put the cross here in front of the cover where you're running to. I'm just going to wait for you to walk into the cursor and shoot. So you can't be predictable if you're under fire. Walk more into the open, not into cover. And that will throw off the enemy.
It's like when you're shooting at someone from far away, and then they start weaving and dodging, but there's only one spot they could be going to for safety. So you just aim to, between the cover and them, and you wait for them to jump into it. Exactly, it's like that, yeah.
When you die, what I like to do is also check the scoreboard. I like looking at the nemesis and the victim, and by knowing who your nemesis is and the victim, you know who you're killing and who you're getting killed by. And if you're dying a lot and the nemesis isn't changing, it means that you're up against quite a lot of people. If you're dying a lot and the nemesis is going up one by one, it means that you're just up against sort of one person. So that gives you an idea of how many you're up against. Again, with the victim, same goes. If you kill a lot of people and your victim's just 2, it means that you're probably up against a full kind of squad. If you kill a lot of people and it's just one guy, it means you're up against like one guy. So you also need to know how many you're up against as well. So when you die, have a look at your nemesis and your victim, which is what I've got here. Look at the map when you die. I know they've changed it a bit in the latest patch. It's harder to look at the map. You have to sort of look at the map and then die. yeah, and it gives you time when some people just like to press escape redeploy. Sometimes you can do that, but I find it gives you more information if you look at the map while dying. Note the direction, look at the map, look at where the friendlies are, look at what's flashing red, what's exposed and stuff. What's hot, what's not. So look at the direction of the current situation. So all of a sudden I'm dead. What are you going to do? Well, at the respawn screen, things aren't hot, so they're still not that close, which means I've still got a chance to defend it without giving away my OP position. As soon as you die off your OP, remember that OP is pretty much dead. It's going to get marked. You're going to have a really hard time fighting off it. So that guy killed me. So the idea is to trade now. We need to gain ground, destroy that person's OP. And in order to do that, you need to be able to at least trade back. So if you die twice, you've got the KD of like 0 to 2. So they've gained 100 meters, you could say, which is a lot if they were running straight. If you kill them 1-to-1, then there's no ground gained or lost. That person's lost ground as much as they gain. So it's all about trading as well. Remember that. If you get killed, that's okay. Just make sure you kill them next time. And you should be able to kill them next time because you saw them, you got killed by them, you know where they're coming from. You've got the jump on them now. So as soon as I spawn in, same thing. Look, I know no one's in the first 50 meters. So I know where to look. I know where exactly that person came from. He's over here somewhere. Yeah, so it's not because I've got war hacks on. It's because I know that guy was there because he killed me before.
I don't know.
Yeah, like this guy, right? And again, limit your firing angle. You can also see this crest, this little hill here. Duck if you need to. So there's two guys there, which means you're up against more than one person. You're up against perhaps a little squad. Again, do the same thing. So my whole objective is actually trying to secure that little courtyard, this whole hedge line. I'm gonna just meat grind into there. That's my current objective. Again, I'm going through the same movements as I was before. Checking the building, checking these hedge lines. Actually, there's a guy in this building here. I don't know if you can see, but that's where I got killed from. So it sort of pays to double check places, but again, that person has got a good firing angle. He can just expose a little and see a lot, whereas me, I'm in a, being silly, running through an open field, exposing a lot, no cover. So that person's using a good firing angle. Any questions or comments so far? So because I lost that kill there, you can see here, I'm looking at the Nemesis and that's changed from 2 to 3. So I know that's Captain Jack. Captain Jack's in that building. So I'm going to kill Captain Jack. You have to kill Captain Jack. He's covering that whole area. We have to win that back. So let's have a look. What are we going to do? Again, OP's just flashed red, which means there's someone within 50 meters. Well, where could they be? I'm going to check. I've checked this little gap. I'm going to check this little gap. I'm going to check down here as well. And check behind me as well, because sometimes they flank. So that's the whole scanning. You've got 50 meters. You've got that piece of information. Scan within 50 meters. That's where I'm looking. Spawn, scan, scan, scan. Okay? Well, again, I killed 2 people here before. They're obviously coming in from here. So that's why I've already aiming down in this direction. Taking it slowly, not running. And then, yes, what you should do after that is check the map to ensure that your outpost is not clear again. So yeah, so that's, you don't know, you actually have to see the enemy, you just have to gather that information from the map. I'll just run through a few more because otherwise it would just be a whole bunch of gameplay. Yeah, some people down there, so they're behind us now, so I've decided to sort of run around. You have to have those spider feelings of tinglies of where are they coming from. And this particular courtyard that I'm in here is again another very popular spot for people to come from. And by seeing a person running across here, they're obviously also coming from here as well. So so I just want to explain this particular shot here. This is a particular technique, again, that I've explained, which helps you land your hits, is don't aim with your mouse, but aim with your A and D. So I slow that down. You can see ahead here, I'm way ahead of him, ready for the aim. You take a shot, you miss, but instead of trying to aim with the mouse, I'm just going to press D and maybe a little mouse, but most of the movement is with the D. Yeah, and there you go. You can take the second shot. Based on their movement, generally most people, once they get shot at, they just keep running in the same direction. And that it allows you for an easy, predictable shot. So by default, against the average pub player, assume that people will just run straight lines without even reacting to being shot at. A good player, if they're getting shot at, they're just going to instantly stop and change direction. So yeah, again, you know there's people around here. Again, you need to see where you got shot from, and that was from the left. So I now know that this whole area here has got people in it, and I sort of already knew there were people coming from here, but now they've gotten more ground, and now they're in this area. So again, this outpost isn't hot, which means that they're slightly more to the left. So that gives you then your next objective. Check your nemesis and stuff. Spawn again. Scan again. Scan again. Yep, there's supplies there. They're setting something up. And you've got to be careful here because we know they're in that complex. The outpost wasn't lit, so let's make some good ground. And I'm constantly scanning as well. All those little spots. So they can come out here. They can come out of this middle bit in front of you. Once they pass this, they can also come out this little area, that little area. So you're always aiming for those bits as you're moving. Again, back to this middle part, back to this. Always just snapping to those places where people can come out. Okay, so it helps if you know the map. X, I'd love any comments from you because you're an awesome shot. What do you have to say so far?
No, I'm just enjoying it.
Okay.
It's good to see your side of things because we never get to team up. So
good. Okay, so the last time I remembered, I got shot from the left, so he's in this area. He's got to be in this area. Slow down. Don't run. Don't run. You're going to walk into fire here. I know he was on the left of where I came from, and so there he is. You try to take a shot. Now, you can see here my shot is slightly to the right of him. I did do a very micro movement to the left to try to take a shot, and I missed. But I'll play it at normal speed, and then I'll slow it down to see exactly what I do. So what that was is a few adjustments. So one is you spotted the enemy, you raise the gun up, and I can actually advance sort of frame by frame here. Okay, so you're slightly to the right of him. So what do? I'm not going to move my mouse to the left. I'm going to move I'm going to press A, move to the left. So here we go. You move to the A a bit. Let's do this slowly. Render in. Okay, well, whatever it is. It looks like I'm moving. Eventually, once the gun's brought up, you can just see the sway of the gun is slightly to the right, I suppose I'm moving. Okay, so I've taken that shot, and then actually the gun, you can see, is actually quite far to the right of where I need to shoot again. So I move, you press A, don't move your mouse. Okay, I've moved enough now. So I've pressed A, I've moved enough. I'm pretty sure the next time I right click on him, the sight is going to be on him. So I don't even bother looking, I just simply press right and click once it's brought up. So I'm not looking to see if I've hit him. I know the gun's on him because I've moved enough A, it's definitely on him. Yep, take your shot. I've moved to the left, and then again, if that's not enough, I'm also moving again to the right. Yeah. So don't aim with the mouse. Aim with your A and D. Yeah. Again, scanning. After a shot, people know that there's an enemy around. Like they'll know. If they hear gunshots, they'll know you're around. So you just got to keep on scanning. There's always going to be another person around. So I know there's another person around here. So I'm being quite cautious. I'm running at 1.5 speed here. But here's another example of scanning while moving. So you need to be able to walk the tightrope. Walk the tightrope. Look, I'm walking a tightrope while spinning around in a circle. Yeah. So I'm always moving in one direction. I know where I'm moving, and you are still able to scan the directions. Don't just move towards this wall here. There's nothing to be gained by looking at this wall here. You can move towards the wall by covering your 6. Yeah, to cover your 6 while you move to there, covering all those little openings. Jump. If you jump and have a look for a peek, because they're always through that little gate there, it's very hard for them to sort of hit you if you jump. So if you need to see something, don't be afraid to just jump. Yeah, jump across. And so they're always through that door. They're always through that door, aren't they? So I'm not going to rush in there because I just know they're through there. I'll speed that one up. Yeah, not rushing too hard, and then if you think they're there, jump again. I'm really taking my time here. Not just they hear footsteps. If there's a guy camping in that corner, he'll know you're coming. So the only way you can kill someone who's camping, and they know you're coming because of your footsteps. The only way you can kill them is to catch them off their guard by moving as fast as you can out of cover. You're not gonna beat them by peeking out slowly because they've got their gun like right on that pixel of the corner. To beat them, you can do a fast peek, so a jump out or a fast peek. Okay, so no one was there, but you get the idea. You need to beat them. Okay. So that's scanning, and I sort of covered that there. Again, I sort of covered some things. If you die, think about how much ground they're taking and expect the enemy to be, however long you die, to be that much closer towards your position. And then you've got an expectation of where to look. Look for landmarks. Okay, they're going to be in those sandbags. They're going to be in those trenches.
Hey, Fuzzy, quick question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between like a pub game and a comp game?
I think in comp games you can camp a lot more. People actually, for some reason, comp games are much more intense. People just run everywhere even more without checking, I find. So if you actually slow down your game in a comp game, you'll probably do a lot better. In pub games, I find people are a bit more cautious and everyone's sort of everywhere, whereas comp games, everyone's more sort of concentrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comp games I find are a bit more linear. Like pub games, you can't account for just random people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. So I was just explaining there. So I'll just fast forward a bit. So you get the jump. So jump. Use that jump, and practice tight rope walking. So walking in one particular direction while being able to spin around on the 360. Pretend you're on a tightrope, and that allows you to be able to cover more angles while continuing into the direction you need to go. I'm just going to fast forward to. So, do you guys understand the adjustments by A and D? Like, who's doing X? Are you doing? Is that how you aim already?
Sort of.
Yep.
It depends because I use a bit more motion when I. It's hard to explain. So like, I use the movement keys instead to sort of like pull me across. So if I know that someone's going to be on that bush line, like if I have to snap really quick, I'll obviously use the mouse, but then I'll mostly just move. Well, it's because my mouse sensitivity is on like 70.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So you have to supplement your movement with the mouse, with the movement. Again, that guy in front of me died. Okay, there's obviously an enemy there. How am I going to react? Well, he's obviously behind that building, probably in the wheat field because there's no other blueberries there. So just going to aim your gun there. And yeah, so here I'm just making sure I'm just covering this particular angle, because as soon as I move out, my whole right, this whole area is going to be exposed to the enemy. So I'm just covering that first. There's no enemies there. Cool. Okay, I'm going to peek out. You see an enemy. Now, as soon as you see an enemy, it doesn't matter. You can't shoot him. It's all right. Guess where he's going to be? He's not going to be jumping over this. He's going to jump in. He's going to go through the easy gap. So this is an easy shot, because instead of having to try aim at the enemy, just aim at the gap. So look for landmarks. Where are people going to be? They're always going to be, maybe he's going to be in this little gap. He could be on that edge. He could be on the edge of that building. He's always on the edges. He's always going to be on the edge. So that's where you aim. You don't have to worry about aiming for the person. Just aim by the tree. They're always by a tree. Everyone's always by cover. People think cover's safe. It's actually not. It's actually the worst place you can actually be, because it makes the shot so much easier. If someone's trying to shoot me in the behind cover, I just aim for the pixel on that cover, and they're usually there. If you're good players, go enough out from your cover such that there's actually open space, and that gives you flexibility to be unpredictable. You can move out further, you can move in further, or you can move even more further back into your cover. But by being so close to your cover, right on that pixel, limits your options, and it makes you a very easy target. See, he was obviously going for that gap. Again, people sometimes hiding in bushes, but yeah, always people in bushes as well. So it's the scanning. Look for that movement, and that's it. Here's an example of more the AD shooting. So here's a guy in front. I'll just play it normally. Hopefully you guys can see the speed. But yeah, so I missed a lot there, but you can see the adjustments I make. So it's more of if I slow it down, the way you aim is you go aim. Okay, he's to the left. Okay, he's running, so you have to account for the bullet travel. But where are you going to follow up? So once you've shot, you know what the direction he's running, so you have to move to the right. You see the direction he's running, he's going to move to the right. So take a shot, move to the right. Take a shot, move to the right. I haven't shot him yet, I still have to move right more. Oh, he's moving to the left now. He's doing the zigzag. Okay, move to the left with the A. So always move the A and D in the direction that the enemy's running in. To adjust your aim, as X said, use your A and D to aim, not the mouse. And just on movement as well. Always press A and D, A and D, A and D, A and D. Yeah, don't even try to not run in straight lines. Like, if you can, just try to always just tap A and D, a little bit. It just makes it that much harder to hit. A bit of jump here and there. It's just make yourself unpredictable. And what happens often is someone's so keen to kill you, they'll shoot, they'll reveal their position, and then you'll be able to take them out. So as long as you keep moving, jumping, moving left and right, someone will. It's called a baiting. You can bait the shot. You can bait a shot. So if you're pinned down by a sniper, just bait the shot out by being really hard to hit. They'll try to shoot you. They'll miss. You'll see the weapon flash. If not, you'll be able to sort of know where they shot from based off the suppression and the noise, and then you'll be able to find the hedge, an obvious window spot, and you'll just shoot them. You don't have to shoot at them. You just shoot at the window. You just shoot at the hedge, right? Don't shoot at the enemy. God, no. And I'll do isn't again. You can see the A and D. So I'm just going to hammer over this. Aim with the keyboard, not with the mouse. And the follow-up shot, always move with the follow-up. And I'll just there's one more here. This one's about angles as well. So here is you've got a narrow angle, you need to make a shot. How are you going to improve your chance to make the kill? It's all about improving your angles as well. So I'll just play this at a normal speed. So that might look, oh yeah, he's just taking shots. But again, it's aiming with the keyboard, but also improving your angle. So I'll just walk it through one more time. So there's a guy here. He's not moving in a particular direction, but if he was going to be moving in a particular direction, he's probably going to be crossing the field into the strong point, which is why I'm preempting his movement by pressing D, going to the right. I see his friend, he's also running to the right as well. Was that X?
Sorry, no, that's just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So there's a guy moving to the right. Okay, lead the shot. I don't have to lead so much, so I'm not going to press so much A and D here. I'm just going to take the shot. But obviously, he saw his friend die. He's smart. He's not going to keep running the same direction. He's changed directions. He's moving back into cover. So in order for me to hit this guy, I need to improve my angle by moving more to the right. Again, moving more to the right and compensating for the aim to get him. If I was to do a diagram of this, it's more like this. Imagine that's like some cover here. You're shooting this red guy. He's a green guy. That's you. There's a red guy. If this guy is moving more into cover, he's closing up the angle. You're making it harder for you to hit him. In order for you to improve your, you're not going to move closer. That's going to close up your angle. You have to move more to the right. And by moving more to the right, you'll be able to have a bit more of him to shoot, just a bit more, but that's all you need to just get that extra advantage. So always think about using those A and Ds to hit your target, and once you've done that, also use the A and D to improve your angle based off the enemy's movement. Yep, so that's cool. Okay, so that's it for that one. Now, X, do you ever get shot out of nowhere and you think, where the fuck was that guy?
Sort of. It's happening a lot less.
Yeah. I get shot out of nowhere all the time because we often just keep running out of places, and we're not looking, we're not covering those angles, and it's really annoying. And it's what? It's our fault. It's our fault for dying like that, and we have to rectify that. And where is it looking? Let's have a look. 119. Okay. 119 here. Oh, right. So here it was. Now, as a squad leader, you do get the binoculars, so I always recommend playing squad leader because you get binoculars. It basically makes you a sniper. But as soon as you get shot, don't keep moving in the same direction. That's what we don't want to do. Get shot at, oh, stop moving, move back, okay. Notice how I don't move back into cover instantly, because remember what I said, you moving back into cover makes you an easy target. I actually just stop stand out in the middle of nowhere because he's probably trying to aim at the cover. I'm going to stop there, and actually he's going to try aim back at me, and then I'm going to move back in. So, oh, stop, I'm just going to be a bit erratic. Okay, so just be erratic. Be erratic. That's unpredictable. Oh, don't go into cover, just sit out there in the open. Yeah. Oh, and there he is. That's his head right there. Okay, so now we can return fire, and you know where he was. That's the thing. If you're not getting shot at, it means that he doesn't have an angle on you. If you are getting shot at, it means he can. So by changing your position, you know where the enemy is. Yeah. If I was still getting shot at from this angle, he must kind of be like somewhere where I could return fire. But because he stopped shooting at me, he must have been holding a particular angle. So I've closed that off. He can't shoot me. I know where he is now. If you're getting shot at, they must have eyes on you. That means you must be able to see them as well. Yeah. And just try to return the fire as well. I couldn't see him. Sometimes you don't also want to hold a position for too long because people are going to move up on you. So yeah, okay, he tried to shoot me. I'll just let someone else deal with him. I'll mark it. I'll deal with it next time. So those kinds of shots there are really frustrating because I wasn't looking in that particular direction. I saw the shot and I didn't see it. But best thing about those is that you know the direction it came from, and it was in the direction of a battery strong point, and that's kind of an obvious position. I'm going to try to assault that position again. Oh, I'm getting shot at. Ah, great. Where is he, X? X. Where's that guy shooting me? Where the fuck? Well, he's in the building. It's an obvious spot, but obviously when you're playing the game, nothing's ever that obvious. But you can actually just see a little pixel on top of the roof. He's not actually in the building, he's on top of the roof, which I don't even know how you get up there, but he's up there. And look at the movements. Okay, get shot at, moving left, moving right. Okay, I was moving in one straight line, that's why I died, okay? So, moral of that story is move in circles. By moving in a circle represents a change in direction no matter what direction you're looking at. So don't move in any straight line. Move in a circle, because on any axis, anywhere you've been seen, you're always moving in more than in sort of like an X and Y position.
You know what you were saying before. Something that's helped me, especially with those long range ones, Fuzzy, is I'll just almost flick my mouse just left right. Flick it, like you know how you're talking about the tightrope.
Yep.
Is then I'll control, like I'll change my direction, but I'll more go to one direction than another, so that way it's pretty easy. You can just go left to right, and I'm flicking around, and it's really erratic.
Yeah,
but it's good because almost you can wait till they run out of ammo. I'm like, fantastic.
Yeah, you bait the shot. Look for the weapon flash. Look for the sound. Listen for the sound, and look at the suppression effect, and you can sort of pinpoint where they are coming from. Again, so I've been nailed by this guy twice. Shame on me. Oh, there he is. Okay, binoculars. Okay, so. Yeah, you don't want to be shot by the same guy too many times because they'll gain ground. Fortunately, that person's in a particular place where he can't gain ground. And I often actually find the Chimera people just have these cheesy spots and they do this kind of stuff, but they can't actually gain ground on you. They'll own your position and they'll know exactly where you're coming from, so that's bad. But if they can't gain ground on you, then at least that they don't have that. So that's cool. Again, this is very similar to that whole play I had. Always be on the lookout. Look, there's an enemy Gary right there, just in the middle of the field. Yeah, so always looking around. Again, I always just smash this. I just meat grind the same spot. No worries there. Okay, so that's that one. I died there, and then now instead of going up that hill, I'm gonna just change the angle. You've got to keep changing your angle. There's no point actually at the same time meat grinding. Yep, 257, so that was that one. I just covered. Make sure you kill me once, shame on you. Kill me twice. Well, no, you can't afford that. You're going to give away your position. You're going to give too much ground. You have to make sure you do a trade. If you don't, you're really giving away the OP position, and there's like a squad leader and stuff like that. That really sucks because that means you have to relocate. Yep, found Gary. Okay, so yep, I get killed on that hill there. Let's have a look. Yeah, again, that building, you need to clear that building before you can assault that hill. So think the angles, who's covering that angle, and so forth. So if I play that particular one. 450, we're still at the same location. Always just, I'm trying to take over control of that little complex here. What can we do? Like, no one's helping. I'm only a single solo squad leader. So I've covered that building there. So that guy, obviously, he just appeared at one of those cover spots. He's only going to be in that corner, this one, or this opening here. There's only one of 3 spots. Someone starts shooting you. So here you duck, close the angle. So if someone's shooting you, snap to one of those obvious spots. Look for the gunfire, return fire. And then if you happen to still be alive and you need to reload, close up the angle. You duck or something. Now there's a guy to my right who should be covering that particular angle. That guy there. the support there, I would expect him to shoot that, and I'd expect him to cover this particular on the right hand side there. So it's frustrating when people aren't helping, maybe it's AFK or something, but by knowing the firing angle of your friendly also cuts down the amount of scanning that you have to do. So that guy there, like you'd expect, he's got a particular angle covered. He can definitely help. Loads of guys here. That one particular one, you can actually hear the footsteps before you get there, so you could probably hear mine as well. Okay, whatever. More footsteps. One's my friendlies, another's an enemy on the left side. So I can hear my friendly on my right hand side coming up. Use the sound. Okay, so there's a machine gunner. That's one enemy, machine gunner. He's only in one obvious spot. Another guy shot at me, so that's two enemies. Count those enemies. So there's at least another enemy around. There's also another enemy to my right. You could hear footsteps. Now this particular one is a interesting one to peek at. You've got, by exposing here, you are completely exposed from all of this area, all the part on the right. So what you should do in these situations is peek out quickly, scan, go back in, change the area you're looking at, peek out, and sort of look in this direction, peek out, move back in, change to a different angle, peek out, move back in, so that you slowly cover, and you're also unpredictable as you move in and out as well. But here, I move out too quickly, exposing myself to many angles, and I get shot from the right. And there was actually an enemy in front, and I don't see him. So, yep, that's the reason why you die, is because you didn't cover a particular angle and you moved out and it got overexposed. But there were two enemies there. I got shot from the right, and there's an enemy in front of me, which means that there's still more enemies there. So you know exactly where, as soon as you spawn in, where you're headed, you know there's how many enemies there are. Oh, you already killed two enemies, there's got to be an OP nearby. So you know exactly what you need to do. So not go in the open, close up your angle by going towards the sedge line, and shooting two bad guys, because there were two bad guys there. Careful, don't run. Yeah. So you can hear two enemies, you can hear footsteps coming out. You've shot the two enemies, there could be an OP nearby. Check behind yourself, because they could have flanked. Yeah. Now I can see on the horizon there's lots of blue guys here. I should be able to safely move towards that area, while slowly opening up this particular angle here. That's what I'm doing. I'm covering this angle as I'm focusing all my attention on that little angle here. There's a guy running across the field. He's got that angle covered, with all his friendlies, so I can safely move across this field. Now he's, if anything, he's gonna get shot at first. So I'm still covering that angle, and that's how I move. But I get shot from the right, and then you can see this blueberry here turns his face towards where the shot came from. So it's unfortunate that I got killed there. I thought those friendlies were covering that angle, but that's how you can move. Use the position of your blueberries to narrow down the angles that you need to cover, so that you don't have to cover so many angles. You can get more accurate shots off. Any comments from anyone? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so here I was count the enemies. Who's shooting at you? What weapon were they using? Was it like a machine gun, bolt action, or like a G43? Count those enemies. If you do die to them, you've still got that count. You still need to destroy two enemies, and you already destroyed two enemies before, so there's got to be an outpost there. You're up against up to 4 people, so you know what to expect. Yep, so that was that one. this one here. Yeah, so these are just videos of the way I'm playing, but yeah, it's not going to be, don't want it to just be like a whole bunch of videos of me killing people. It's more like, okay, this is exactly what, how I play, what I'm looking for, and the information that I gather while playing. Stalingrad, again, like, there's no enemies around anywhere. We've got the middle point, we're capping the next, and so you expect, yeah, there's no one around here. But you can hear a gunfire. There's no blueberries there, I heard a gunfire. Oh yep, baddie. Again, that particular shot, you could say, was easy because you know where he's going to go. He's going to go into the cover to the left. Try to get a headshot, but I don't. And he's gone into cover, so you don't even know, you don't even need to shoot at him. You just need to shoot into the cover and you'll probably hit him. Again, check the stats to see who you're killing. Make a mental note of where things are, and you can figure out how many guys you're up against, and you'll be able to, yeah, just take them out. I'll just speed this one up. I mean, this one's pretty routine. Again, getting shot at still.
Going down north of the point.
Getting shot at, actually, I'll turn the sound on because you can hear the shots. You're getting shot at, and here I'm peeking out really slowly, and you can do this with a gun or with binoculars, but I'm only opening up an angle at my leisure, so it's always on my terms. I'm opening it up very slowly, checking one pixel at a time, or you know, one angle at a time. Where the enemy is, I spotted the enemy, I'll mark him out. For some reason I'm alt-tabbing here. And then yeah, I eventually destroyed them in their OP, so...
You're awesome. Hey mate, how are you?
Get some supplies on Yellow House or something.
Yeah, so that's... open up that angle slowly. You're using either binoculars or ADSing with your gun. And yeah, you'll eventually get those guys. What's this particular one here? Might be a very similar one. What's this one here? 142. Oh, so this particular one, it starts from when you spawn because you can see what's hot. And you can see Gary's hot, Half-Track's hot. Okay, Gary's dead, so that from the Gary. Oh, see a friendly there, and I assume it's a bad person, so you just hit fire. But yeah, so this one's also knowing about notice the enemy movement while turning. Notice the movement while turning. Yeah, always keep moving, I suppose, and notice that movement through the bush. So yeah, always keep moving through those wheat fields, walking that tight rope. Again, walk those tight ropes while being able to cover different angles. Fast forward to 3:01. Oh, there's a dead guy there. He's just dead on the floor. What the hell, right? There's obviously enemies there. So again, dead friendlies means enemies nearby. Yep. Again, you got shot at. Where's that from? I'm not getting shot at anymore. So open up this angle again. You can't slow. Oh, there he is. Okay. So yeah, notice if you're getting shot at, they can see you. It sounds obvious, right? If you're getting shot at, they can see you. Move into cover. If you're not getting shot at, you kind of narrow down the area that they could be at, and then slowly open up the angle until you see them, and then take those guys out. How to return fire when you're sort of way outnumbered. There's a particular episode where there's a sniper just out the middle of effing nowhere. I have no idea where he is. I have no idea where he is. Like, I eventually do find him, but it's like in a different part of the game. But again, I'm doing that slowly, opening up the angle thing. And he's still not shooting me, so he mustn't be... It's a weird thing, he shot me when I was just stood up on that box, so he must be... And then I look at the map, so I'm not going to bother hunting that guy. I can see that Gary's lit. You're going to use that information. How is that information going to change your actions, okay? So I'm not going to be hunting one guy, okay? So look, the Gary's been taken out. Outpost is hot. By looking at it, he's got to be closer towards the Gary than my outpost, because otherwise my outpost would be dead. So, yeah, what do? Defend the Gary? Okay, unfortunately Gary went down. Just watch this, guys. Heard the shot. I was unpredictable there. I don't know if you could tell. I was unpredictable. I baited a shot by moving out. He didn't return fire. It's interesting. So I'm going to pick out slowly, use the binoculars. Look for the shot. Look for movement on the horizon. There was more movement. He took a shot. I'm going to peek out quickly and take him out. And by being unpredictable, because usually people expect you to peek out slowly. So to slow parts of that one down, it all started by knowing that they were taking out the Gary. Now here I'm being unpredictable. Notice how I'm not facing towards the building that I'm running into cover. I'm not just running into the building by looking in there. I'm looking in a really weird position. I'm walking backwards into the building. By walking backwards into the building, people don't know what direction you're running. I'm running to the left, to the right, forwards and backwards. Like, what direction am I actually going to be moving in? Look, he's shooting me. Look, I'm walking out. Like, I'm walking backwards into the building. Normally people walk forwards into the direction, so be unpredictable. He's baited a shot out. I've baited a shot out. I know the direction he's in. I can open up that angle, just like I've always shown you. Again, that was a bait shot, so I moved out. I didn't have any idea where he was. I just baited a shot, and I hoped that he would have shot and revealed his position, which he didn't. So that's another technique you can use. If you don't know where they come from, bait the shot out. Move out quickly, bait the shot out. Like this. Bait out. Don't even try to shoot. Just look for the weapon flash. Didn't bait it out? Okay, I'm going to look out. Peek slowly. Open up that angle. Look for him. He's found. He should be dead. Look for movement. They just appeared out of nowhere. There's two guys there. This guy and that guy. I can't see this guy. He took a shot at me. I didn't see him. I didn't actually see where he was. Yet he took a shot at me and he missed. So he's got to be there somewhere. So you're going to lose this battle if you peek out slowly and do a lean. If you do a lean peek slowly, if you ADS and lean and peek out slowly, you will lose because he's got his gun right on that corner there. To win this battle, you need to Ferrari peek. So you need to peek out as fast as you can and to get away from the cover as fast as you can and return fire. So that was, you need to do that, you need to go back from the cover, build up speed and run out as fast as you can. So notice, I'm running back, running forward. Well, not even running, but you need to be ready. So you run back, gain speed as fast as you can. And so you're hitting the edge of that cover as fast as you can. And then taking the shot, so that he's expecting you to peek at this corner, but you're going to be way out here. Take the shot, and then you can do stuff.
And I suppose he'd be adjusting twice then, right? He'd be adjusting further right, and then you'd be going back, so he'd have to adjust left as well. So it's two adjusts for him. Yeah. So remember that circle walk, so that tightrope. I was walking into cover, but I wasn't facing the cover I was walking into. I was walking up, I was looking away, I was moving backwards into cover. So it's just like normally people walk forwards, right? So walk backwards into your cover. You're unpredictable that way. Okay, what are you going to do? You get shot at. Yes, you can bait a shot out, move out. Okay, did he shoot you? If he shoots you, you know that he had an angle on you at that particular position. You looked for the flash. You're going to return fire. You can bait it out. They didn't bait. Okay. Use the binoculars or ADS slowly. Look for them. After you've shot, you've revealed your position. You need to beware of return fire. And again, if you're in a duel where they've got the angle,
you have to move out quickly. That sort of counters them. Again, vice versa. If you have an angle, you can move slowly. Yeah, that's some of those techniques. So I know we right on 1 hour mark now, but I will. Again, this is very. It must be the same one. 1 minute. Was it 1 minute mark? Okay, so it's They will open up their angle. Oh, just explaining this particular one again, because I moved back into cover. Your movement will dictate enemy movement. So he's trying to kill me. By me closing up this angle here, he's going to open up his angle even more to try catch me. And by knowing that, sort of like if you've played some games where you've got rockets, he's following you around a corner. Once you've walked around the corner, you just shoot at the corner and he'll die because he's following you to try kill you. So same principle goes here, is if you close up an angle, an enemy will try to improve that particular angle, which means that they're going to be overexposed. So there's a log bush here, a log. He's away from that corner there. He's well away from that. He's moving to the left, trying to open up this angle to try to get me in this building. So by virtue of me moving into the cover, I've forced him to come out. So know that your movement will allow you to predict the enemy movement. So that was that. Do a Ferrari peek, and you can just you can go on YouTube and look up Ferrari or a Zentare's peek. It's a fast peek out, and it will sort of take the enemy by surprise.
Hey Fuzzy.
Yep.
At what point do you? I mean, maybe not in this situation because you're in a shed with one exit, I think. At what point? But let's say it's a scenario where you've got like it's a hedge or something like that. At what point do you abandon that one side and you'll go, well, I'm not going to peek this side because they're probably more likely to be looking at me for this side.
Yep.
Is it worthwhile changing my side or something like that?
100%. So often people obviously run behind cover, so you'll be doing the same. So you'll be running behind cover. If you've just run behind cover, pretend that you're going to run to the other side of the cover. And at the time that the enemy expects you to be at the other side of the cover, that's when you peek the same cover that you just ran past. So for example, this log here, if I was running behind that from a particular angle, if I was running here, an enemy's trying to shoot me, they would expect me to be on the far edge and say like 2 seconds or whatever. In 2 seconds time, I'm going to peek out this other edge and try to take that person out. So that's unpredictable. They're expecting, he's running, he's gunning for it, and he's obviously going to be at the other side. But I'm waiting a bit, just a little bit, because obviously I'm running to the far edge. But in that same time, by the time I expect to be at that point, I'm peeking out this side to take him out. So pretend that you have to think how much information you're giving to the enemy. So you've been running to a cover, you're running into cover or you're behind cover, you've peeked a particular side. You can try to peek the other side, but you have to just be unpredictable, switch it up. But in the case of you're running to cover and you're getting shot at, what side do you peek out of? Peek out the same side that you ran in at the same time that they expect you to come out the other side. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yep. 206. Okay, so here's that sniper again that I had before when he was trying to aim for me. And so often you're just getting shot out of nowhere. Your vision goes all blurry. See this movement? Look at this movement. Like, that's unpredictable movement. Well, you're trying to be unpredictable. I know he's on my right, but I can't see him and I don't really care. I finally found myself into cover, and I can tell that this particular guy's the commander. So I'd rather get that, one is you're getting shot at, you don't know from where, you're heavily suppressed. I'm not going to bother too much. I can just continue shooting people. I'm not going to... In fact, the hardest people to shoot are people who aren't shooting back at you. So I don't know if you noticed, but if you're trying to shoot a guy who's not shooting you, who's shooting your friend, he's really hard to hit because his movements are so unpredictable. Because as I mentioned before, your movements will invoke the enemy's movements. Your enemy's movements will dictate your movements.
What you do.
Yeah, the enemy will move based on your movement. However, if they're shooting your friendly, they're going to be moving based on your friendly's enemy. So that's really hard to predict. So if you're getting shot at, you just got to be a bit unpredictable. Notice this particular movement. It's like, okay, shot at. Oh, okay. Just move side to side. Move in that circle. The circle. Move in a circle. Stop. Run. Stop. Yeah. Move backwards. Look in different directions. And then find yourself into cover. I know people like X might hit those shots and stuff, but just practice those kinds of movements. Eventually I do get that sniper because he's shot at me so many times. I kind of know where he is, but it's that kind of circular movement. By moving in a circle, you're moving in 2 dimensions from any kind of point of view. And finally, the last one is prediction shots. What is it? 136 on Hootkin. So yeah, nothing's lit. So there's no enemies nearby.
We need someone to take out that tank on the hill. No, you don't.
Grenade explosion. And that guy in front of you died. So from that perspective, you know they've got an angle on that guy somehow. So that guy died because they had an angle.
Is that you that just got me again?
Check the map. Spot movement. And then a prediction shot. He's a gap through there, gap through there, gap through there. He's got to be running in a straight line. You don't even have to see him, you just predict the shot because people are predictable. So practice those prediction shots, especially at these levels like Hootkin Forest or Hill 400, where you only get glimpses of people running, but you don't actually have to shoot at them. You just have to know where they will be at a particular time. So you see a person running, they're running in a straight line. People don't dodge in trees on Hill 400 and stuff. People just run in straight lines. So practice those prediction shots. Head. Okay, he's got to be behind that tree. I'm just going to shoot and you'll get him. So yeah, that's a prediction shot. Practice those prediction shots for levels on the forest levels like Hootkin and Hill 400. So they're the different types of shots you can do. And yeah, that concludes this training. But are there any questions or comments? X, what do you want to say? It's your turn. Oh, is he not here? No, he's gone. Chowie, any comments?
Nah, man, it's just good to see how you play, how you think about where you take your shots and whatnot.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So, thanks everyone for coming. If you've got any questions or comments, I've recorded the session, so I'll be able to post it up on YouTube later.
Cheers for that, Fuzzy. Much appreciated. I only caught the end because I missed it again, but much appreciated.